Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, reviewing often rare and exotic whiskeys. I'm not really sure how rare and exotic this is. It's fairly new. It's the Old Granddad, aged 7 years, bottled and bond, distilled in spring 2018, bottled 2025 in the spring. My whole channel, my very first video almost 10 years ago in German was Old Granddad 100 proof. So this is 100 proof, but this is 7-year-old. Now, this was released in America in July 2025. I bought this. This is $40 in the States. By the time it makes it over to me with shipping, it costs like $24 per bottle to ship it over. I have to pay 19% excise tax and things like that. And I have to pay alcohol tax on this and so on. It ran me 74 euros to get this here over to Germany. Mash bill is 63% corn, 27% rye, and 10% malted barley. So this is just a high rye mash bill. The same thing with Basil Hayden, basically. If I were in the States and I were at the whiskey shop and I saw this bottle, I would go, oh, that's kind of cool, an age statement. I'm going to buy this. And then I would go, oh, back at home, I have an Old Granddad 114. Costs about 5 euros less, has 7% more, 14 proof more, but it doesn't have an age statement. I would compare the two to see which one I like. I'm a big fan of Old Granddad 114. Now, Beam Suntory, they own that brand. They've actually put a little bit of love here in the Old Granddad. There's the standard 80 proof. There's the standard 100 proof. There's the 114. And actually, there's a review on my channel here from last year where I reviewed the Old Granddad 16-year-old. I liked it, but it didn't wow me as much as I expected. Not for the price that I had to pay for it. It was a limited release. And now we have a limited ongoing release, whatever that means. The Old Granddad 7-year-old bottled and bond. Now, I'm going to compare this to, I'm going to do something different than I did in my German video. I'm going to compare it to my Jim Beam 7-year-old, 45%. Now this is the standard mash bill, so this is a little bit less. Oh, maybe I should actually look this up here. Jim Beam 7-year-old. So because in my German video, compared it to the Old Fitzgerald, this one, hands down, I really like this. I gave this a B-. This I just gave a C+. All right, so let's see if I can find something here about the what is it? Beam 7-year-old. So let's see here. Beam. Come on, Breaking Bourbon, give me something here. Beam 7. Yes, I'm 21 years of age or older. All right, good. Here we go. So we have here the mash bill. I'm just going to compare the two mash bills here. Old Granddad has 63% corn. This has 77% corn. This has 13% rye. This has 27% rye. 10% malted barley. 10% malted barley. This comes in at $25. This comes in at $40. Both of them are 7 years of age. So this is not a bottle and bond product with 45% ABV. But I think it's very interesting that we are returning back to age statements. The black 7 years, Old Granddad 7 years, Old Fitzgerald 7 years. I could pull out the 9-year-old Knob Creek Rye. I could pull out the 12-year-old Knob Creek Bourbon. A lot of different stuff's happening here, and I think that's very good here. They increased the proof from 86 proof to 90 proof, so 43 to 45%, which I like. We now have an age statement on there. A lot of good things going on here. So remember about 10 years ago, the Jim Beam Black carried an 8-year-old age statement. Then it went over to the extra aged, and now we are happy to have a 7-year-old. All right, so on the nose, had the high rye, very good. Pecan, a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of honey. Nice. The Jim Beam, softer, less of the rye, more of a sweetness. This is actually not bad. This is a little bit less dialed down. This has a little bit more of the rye dialed up. Is it really, that's the question I'm going to ask you and me, $15 less in price. All right, so $25 versus $40. I can get, I'm going to go for this price here. I'm going to get 3 of these. That's about right. 3 of these for the price of 2 of these. All right, so this is 80 euros for 2. This would be 75 euros for 3. Now, someone wrote down the other day, and I thought that was actually a very wise thought. At my age and at my position in my life, I'd rather pay 40 euros for an old 5cl sample of a whiskey than buy a bottle for 40 euros that I have to drink for the whole year that I don't like. And it was just like, that's wisdom. Yeah, because I'm trying to reduce the amount of alcohol I'm drinking as well, even though I have a YouTube channel about whiskey. And that's really something that you have to think about. If you have 40 euros you're going to spend for whiskey, would you rather have one wonderful dram that you can do maybe on 2 nights in the month and just enjoy it thoroughly with a dram and a half? Or are you going to try to go for a whole bottle and then try to empty it in the next 3 to 6 months? And that was really, it was like, wow, that was a great statement there. All right, so I'm always looking out for the new stuff. I'm always trying. I'm always discovering. I'm always comparing. I'm always on the hunt. And not everyone is hunting like I am, right? No one else in the world has done YouTube videos about thousands of videos. No one else, thousands of bottles. No one else in the world has had as many online videos as I have in German and English. Is that good or is that bad? I'm not sure. Let's try Old Granddad 7 Year. Oh, place in my heart, Old Granddad will always hold. It's a good whiskey. Is it better than Old Basil Hayden with its 50%? Definitely. Is it better than Old Granddad 114? I'm not really sure. I did a blind tasting. I think I put 20 cask strength bourbons together. Blinded myself with the different bottles. All of them were 55% or more. It was Old Granddad was 54. And I just did a blind tasting spit. I was inspired by friend Minnick. And the Old Granddad 114 was, I think, the 3rd best out of 20. It would really, really surprised me with its ranking, with its how well it did in my blind tasting. Would this do as well in a blind tasting of Bottle and Bond products? I'm not really sure. It's a C+ whiskey. Value for money, a solid C. But any day of the week, I'd go for the Old Granddad 114. I think I've said that like 3 times already. All right, let's go over here to the Jim Beam 7-year-old black label. I'm not a big fan of the bottle design. I prefer this rather than this, but hey, the black, it's legible, but it's not really great. 7 generations American straight bourbon whiskey since 1896. James Beam, 700 milliliters. So after 7 years resting in barrels, something special happens. The liquid turns a rich, bold, with notes of caramel, vanilla, and warm oak. This is the smooth aged whiskey of Jim Beam Black. I think I could think of, I'm pretty sure I could think of better wording than that. This really surprises me. I actually like my high rye bourbon, but today this is better. It's a little, even though it's 45%, it's approachable. There is a little bit of a bitterness, bitterness is not right, tartness towards the end. I don't get that in the Old Granddad. The initial taste is better. The finish is better here. The value for money, definitely here. For $25, Now, what would I get for 25 bucks? I would buy Wild Turkey 101. I like Wild Turkey 101. I do not have a university story of me having a blackout because of Wild Turkey 101. Wild Turkey 101 is one of my go-to whiskeys where it's just like, hey, we can make cocktails with it. I can bring it to, and you can mix it with Coke. You can just drink it straight. It's great, great, great whiskey for a wonderful, wonderful price, even in Germany. Very briefly. More of a nuttiness. I remember Chad over at Bourbon. What was it called with Chad and Sarah? Sarah back then was there. Bourbon Night. I'm missing a word. I'm still a Patreon with them, by the way. It was always, it's peanut butter. It's always nutty. It's always then that typical Beam profile. I get that there. Here, the whole time I'm drinking this, I'm trying not to say this, but I'm getting the feeling of Kmart. Shows my age and shows where I grew up. It has the flavor of cheap bourbon. For the value for money, this is good stuff. For 25, I'm going to give this actually like a taste C+, C+. Value for money, C, maybe even C- for it's $40. This is going to be a C+, B-. Wild Turkey 101, B, value for money, maybe even an A- in some days. This is more than acceptable. Are there better things out there in the market? Yes. Would I pour this down the drain if someone gave it to me? Never. This is good whiskey. This is nice whiskey. Which one I prefer? It depends on the day and what I'm going to do with it. If I'm going to pay out of my own pocket, I'm more than happy with this. And I'm very, very happy there's a 7-year-old age statement on the black. I remember the green bottles. No, that was the yellow ones were the rye that turned into the green, which is the rye, which I still think Jim Beam rye is one of the best value for money ryes out there in the world. But there used to be the double-aged 8-year-old. I can still get one of those at an auction for about 30 euros. This costs about 28 euros over here in Germany. Good value for money. As I said, I paid 70 euros for this to get it over Germany, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to have this bottle. I wanted to do a review. I wanted to try it. I wanted to see how good the 7-year-old Bottle and Bond is. This is better. But it's a wheated whiskey. All right, so my question of the day is, what is your favorite 7-year-old American whiskey? Is it Old Fitzgerald? Is it the black from Beam? Is it now the Old Granddad? What other 7-year-old whiskeys are out there that we can actually buy, try, and enjoy? Okay, thank you very much. A little bit of a indecisive moment here. Yes, but value for money here. Thank you very much. Watching, liking, subscribing, telling others, and I'll see you real soon. WhiskyJason, yeah. Bye-bye.